Welcome to the Mission of Our Lady of the Holy Spirit of Zúñiga. Founded in 1722 by the Aguayo expedition on the Bay of the Holy Spirit, which is in present Lavaca Bay here in Texas. This mission reflects its former site in the popular name La Bahía. Its formal name in part honored Baltasar de Zúñiga, Viceroy of New Spain. Because of threats from the French and the Indians, Spain founded this mission and its auxiliary fort, Presidio Señora de la Bahía, which we'll see here in just a little bit, to defend its territory and convert the natives. Difficulties, however, caused both to be moved in only 4 years to the Guadalupe River and again in 1749 to this site on the San Antonio River. At its peak of success, this mission possessed huge herds of cattle and supplied settlements in Mexico, as well as missions in present-day Texas. In 1758, about 180 persons resided at this mission. Most of the residents were Indians, with some Spanish missionaries. They lived mostly in crude clay-plastered huts thatched with grass. Around the area was spacious grounds, which is now a state park, by the way, for cattle, farming, and other areas where the colonists had formed a small community. After a general decline caused the mission to be secularized in 1830, it fell into ruin. In 1932, this land was deeded to the state by Goliad County, and the mission complex was restored in 1939. Take a walk around the grounds, look inside the mission, visit the workshops, and take a look at the stories they have. Again, this mission was founded in the early 1700s. By about the 1820s, it had been abandoned, and in the 1930s, 1940s, it was restored to what you see today. Its restoration makes it look like it was back in the early 1700s. These walls here that you see that were preserved were from a mission that's just a little bit away called Mission Nuestra Señora del Rosario, which is about 4 miles west of here. These fragments are about 200 years old. Take a quick look around the workshop area for the mission. Then we'll go in and take a look at the mission and learn a little bit more about what happened here in the 17 and 1800s. This area here on the other side of the church were the workshops where the natives were taught to do pottery, weave, learn how to farm. Here's some examples of some weaving looms that could have been used during the time. Some nice samples of some of the products and cloths that were made, either out of wool or cotton. The natives were also taught how to make pottery, or at least a different form of pottery. Many had been making pottery for tens of thousands of years. A small forge for making metal objects. An anvil. This room here is actually what was known as the Mayordomo's office. The Mayordomo was an Indian convert selected by the missionaries. In fact, the Mayordomo was the overseer of the workshop. This room is furnished to appear much as the office might have looked in the early 18th century. Here, the Mayordomo would hand out work assignments, keep the mission records. Also in here would be where tools and other implements were issued out to those who were working. While the church was the religious center of the mission, this was the secular center of the mission, where the work in farming, weaving, cattle herding, and pottery were done. This was a small chapel here, the main church that we saw earlier here. Take a look inside the museum that they have. This museum documents the Museum Espíritu Santo de Zúñiga. Again, this mission was founded in 1722 and lasted up till 1830. This model represents what the mission may have looked like in the early 1700s. Franciscan missionaries, with the guidance and protection of the Spanish crown, established this mission in 1722. Their goal was to convert the coastal Karankawa people to Catholicism and lay the groundwork for colonization. Unfortunately, poor relations with the Karankawas prompted the priests to move the mission twice before finally settling here in 1749. The Spaniards found the local Aranama and Tamique groups more receptive to mission life. The mission did prosper here, though. During good years, as many as 300 people lived and worked at the mission. By 1777, most of the wood and adobe buildings were replaced with permanent stone buildings. This particular ranch that was around this mission had one of the most extensive herd of cattle and became the largest in Spanish Texas. Unfortunately, by the 1780s, the slow decline of the mission had begun. Raids by Apache and Comanche Indians became more frequent, and changing governmental policies and turmoil from the 1810 Mexican Revolution disrupted the mission's progress. The mission was formally closed in 1830. Again, this mission was founded by Franciscan priest from Spain. Franciscan friars mostly observed vows of celibacy, obedience, and poverty. Their aim in making these settlements in Texas was to convert the native population to Catholicism and to teach them skills and trades. These are some of the artifacts from the religious side of the mission. Again, a mission had a religious side and a secular side. The secular side taught the Native Americans how to work in an organized area. They were working before, but a little bit more organized, and offered them new trades like weaving, cattle herding, and various other trades that they could learn. Priests arranged daily work and worship around a very rigorous schedule. In order to live at the mission, native converts had to learn a radically different way of life than the one they had previously led. Priests acted as teachers in order to help them assimilate to the Spanish culture. Among the lessons emphasized by the priest were keeping track of time. Priests expected native pupils to learn the European system of hours and minutes. This is a replica of a sundial that was found while archaeology work was being done on the mission. This large vat here made out of copper. It's part of a copper still was used to distill a liquor sort of similar to tequila. The vat held fermented plants such as agave and yucca. It was part of the first stage of the distillation process. The soldiers assigned to the mission were usually the most professional soldiers and had the best weapons. Each soldier was given a broadsword with a pike on the end, 2 lances or 2 pistols, a leather shield. Here's a replica of a leather shield. Also at times around the mission's artillery weapons were one of the most powerful lines of defense. This particular brass cannon was found near the walls of the mission. Here's what the cannon would have looked like on the mission walls as protection against raiding tribes. These walls that you see here, they're some of the last remaining walls from the mission's construction in 1758. Historians believe that this room was used as a sacristy for the church. The sacristy is used by priests to hold ceremonial items and also as a place to store records such as birth, death, and marriage documents. These are some of the tools Aranama had prior to the arrival of the Spanish. They mostly used stone tools for hunting and preparing food until the arrival of the Spanish, who brought forges that steel and copper could be made from. Most families lived inside very small rooms. They were provided kettles, pots, grills, clothing, blankets, and also given bracelets, beads, and other religious items. Said this mission was restored. Restoration began in 1930 when it became a state park for the state of Texas. Most of the work was done by the CCC, or the Civilian Conservation Corps, who camped here during the Great Depression and did most of the restoration work on the mission. Give you some idea of where we are. Here's a map of Texas. We are right around here. Dot in the middle represents the more famous missions. Most people know about those in San Antonio, including the Alamo. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the mission. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.